Hi everyone and welcome to my latest Journeyman FM21 video. And we've actually been out of work for nearly a year. What I did was I resigned from my team in Qatar, Al Makkasa, on the eve of the first game of the season in the top flight. Basically made sure I was studying for my national A license, got that. And then so I went on holiday for 4 months whilst I was studying it, and then I started job hunting, and it's been a difficult job hunt, probably about a good 4 or 5 months hunt. We actually took a job in Japan, which was interesting, but I had to resign after less than a day because I realised there was something wrong with the database in Japan in terms of for some reason we couldn't access the club info screen properly. So it's obviously a fault with the database. Bear that in mind if you are going to take on the Japan part of the TMO database. So yeah, we had to resign from there. And I don't know whether the game kind of hated me for resigning a club within a day, but we've really been struggling for offers and everything. And we've ended up going here to Egypt, and this is going to be a really difficult challenge. A team called Masr El Makkasa. They've got some big financial problems. Anyway, so eyebrows have been raised. I wasn't the favourite of the job, but apparently I'm considered quite a coup for the club, due to me having lifted the Qataris League with Al Makkasa in 2022. So, you know, it's going to be difficult here. They've got a 20,000 capacity stadium, below average training facilities, poor youth facilities, fairly basic youth recruitment. We haven't got much there at all. Founded in 1937, they currently play in the WE League. They narrowly avoided relegation. As I say, that's supposedly the best lineup if we're going to do our formation. We'll come back to that soon. Work within wage budget, obviously. Fight bravely against relegation, so we're not going to get sacked from this job, even if we were to go down. Repair the club's financial damage. We're going to see exactly how bad this damage is now. That's the first place I think we're going to have to go, is the finances of this club, and they're 374,000 in debt, and they've been in debt since quite a long time, it seems. 2 years at least, over 2 years, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. What are the projections? Well, the projection is fairly stable actually. We're not going to lose much more, but yeah, this is going to be a really difficult challenge. The transfer budget is actually minus 8k. That's how bad it is. Jesus Christ. I mean, this is going to be a challenge. This looks like the squad, no one even averaged above, well, one player averaged over 6.7 last season, and that is this guy here, Shimelis Bekele, who's a striker. He's on the transfer list. He's on the highest wage as well. If we just look at the wage, if we are going to repair the financial damage, we're probably going to have to shift him, unfortunately. A few others maybe we'll look at as well. Club info wise, what have we got? General. Do we have any fierce rivals? No. Media predictions was 12th. Facilities are poor. It's not great actually. The background is difficult with this skin to see this. But we're based in Fayoum in Egypt. Yeah, this is going to be difficult. As I say, they finished 12th in the WE League. Season preview sounds like it was 12th as well. No, the season preview was actually 17th. So yeah, they've done really well to survive. 38 points on the board, 7 clear. We were offered a job by this club here, Masr El Makkasa, but I didn't fancy getting relegated. They got a much better wage budget, finances and stuff like that, but I just fancied a shot in the top league. And this pyramid side, it looks incredible. 89 points, 1 loss. They won 28 out of 34 games. I don't think we're going to be challenging them anytime soon, are we? Pyramids do have the biggest wage budget. They're expected to dominate this league, aren't they? El Alhi, as well, a pretty big club. Zamalek, they're one of the big clubs in Egypt. But I think the whole idea of this particular save is, now, at the start of the year, it was hard to get this job. It's just, there's always a stage in FM Journeyman, isn't there, where you think you're going to get a better job and you don't. And you kind of get desperate for work, sort of thing. And I think that's the stage I'm at now. We just need to regroup, take this job seriously. I wanted to come to Africa to manage, and we're finally here. Try and avoid relegation, maybe even build the club up even 2 or 3 years. And I think what we're looking to try and do is sort of maybe go up internally, see if any of these big jobs ever become available, build up a good reputation in Egypt. We can improve the Arabic still, get the Arabic up to a good level, even fluent. And we've got to knuckle down. We can have a bit of a, you would hope to build up a squad good enough to avoid relegation and just take it from there. But yeah, new challenge on the board here in Egypt with Masr El Makkasa. So there's been some interesting developments in the off-season. When I first joined the club, it looked like there was going to be a real problem with the wage budget. It was 8,000, 9,000 sort of territory. Just before sort of the reload of the new season, before the fixtures come out, the board came to me and said, right, the wage budget is now going to be 25,000 for the upcoming season, which really surprised me. Now, I reduced that down to 20 because I wanted a bit of money in the transfer budget. I wanted a bit of money in the scouting budget. Now, the club vision, one of the things is repair the club's financial damage. Now, unfortunately, they've just dangled the carrot too much at me, and the projection for the club isn't great long term, because if you give someone this amount of a wage budget, you're just gonna end up spending some of it, aren't you? And the wage budget was set to be sort of 8,000 or 9,000. I thought it was going to be tight. At the minute, I'm spending 12,400. So I've tried my best to really be restrictive on some of these deals, but ultimately, I've had to really go into this wage budget because A, we needed a lot of players, and B, you can't turn it down, otherwise the board will actually have a go at you for being too prudent. So it's an interesting one. Maybe they're letting you. There'll be a reason why they're giving you that budget. Unless it's just terrible financial mismanagement. Maybe they got some investments planned. I do know that there's a potential takeover in them offering. So anyway, we're not going to complain. It's not like we can use this budget too much anyway, because it's been quite hard to get really good players into the club. Anyway, let's just have a look at the transfer history. 14 new players have come in. A number of them are loans. I think it's 4 loans we've got in here. We had to act quickly. We started with this striker, Mohamed El Sayed, a poacher sort of striker who can offer us something. Ahmed Radwan is an attacking midfield playmaker. I'm really actually excited for this guy. I think he could be one of our better players, sort of in the A-mid role. David Masamba, who's a bit of a rock centre-back, 194 centimetres tall. He's a big lad. And we sort of looked at the defence here. Karim Alouadi, a Moroccan centre-back, we had to bring him in. Mohamed Abdel Fattah, an Egyptian centre-back, we wanted to make sure we got a decent sort of 3 centre-back core. Got a bunch of loans in that we won't go into there, but we reinforced the midfield. We had no midfielders here. Nassim Yetu, who doesn't look too bad. Black Williams Bile, who we actually spent money on to bring in as a centre mid. And there was another one, Abdul Moula El Grous, a Moroccan central midfielder, who again, I'm quite encouraged by this guy. I think he might become a good player. We spent 20,000 on a young talent, an upcoming prospect, Amr Soliman, who I'll let you have a look at here. This is just a guy who I think could really develop into an interesting player. We're using an inside forward. We'll come to that in a minute. So I think this guy can develop into that role. Just someone I really like the look of. Now, staying at the club, we'll come to that soon, but in terms of tactics, I was really struggling for tactics. I just didn't know what to do. The problem is, it's been very hard to find, and I've gone with 2 tactics. This is the first one. This is my more attacking tactic. I don't believe we've got the right type of fullbacks for an attacking back four. If I'm using a back four, I like my fullbacks to be more wing backs, not fullbacks, and we just didn't have that. We just haven't been able to find the players that we wanted in those positions, and it just soon became apparent we're going to have to go with a back 3. We've brought in 3 solid defenders. If you're going to do that, then they can potentially look at wing back spots. Now I didn't go with wing backs because I've used wing backs a lot in my other saves. I just wanted to try something different, to be honest. Otherwise I may have searched for wing backs. To be honest, we haven't got many anyway, and no one really stood out in the market for that. So we're going with a back three, but we're not going with any wing backs. We're not going with any wide midfielders. We're going with an inside forward on the left hand side and a winger on the right. So this is an area we're going to be weak. Now to try and counteract that, we're going with a ball winning midfielder, a Mazzala, who I think might just give us a little bit of width in this area, maybe, but potentially anyway, and a centre mid attack, because I like that role. I've tried deep line playmakers in this Football Manager FM21 and it just isn't really quite working. So I went for more sort of physical midfielders like El Grus. Look at his acceleration, pace, stamina, stuff like that. Bile as well. Black Williams, Bile. Again, natural fitness is good. Acceleration, pace, stamina, not bad for this level. Yetu, very similar sort of guy. I went for a sort of energetic midfield rather than strongish and sort of passing vision. I want energy, and we'll hopefully get a few runners going into this area of the field. Radwan is the opposite. He's not physical, but he's a technical player, and I just think the A mids are doing better in this FM. You could choose whatever role you wanted, really. We're going with AM attack for now. Up front we've got Bahaba, who's our captain, and we've got a few. He's not great, is he? He's actually one of the few players who remains at the club from last season. But so I feel like we want a bit of continuity where we can. El Zahabi on the left hand side here as inside forward is another one who remained at the club from last year. And at the minute we've got Abdul Wahab, who again he stays in from last year, 18-year-old who we're looking to develop. Right wing is, I'm not going to lie, is maybe a position we are thinking about reinforcing. We have got this guy in on loan, Mustafa Ahmed, but he's just really all pace, and he's there just as an impact, so we need someone else in that position. In terms of strikers, we brought this guy in, Mustafa, a youngster on loan from another club, and I think he could end up even being our starting striker. He's a young 17-year-old. And we've got backup in the form of I'm trying to find him now, Al Sayed. I think we mentioned him in terms of the transfers. Al Sayed and Barber, whoever's in the better form will get that role, really. One big problem is goalkeeper. Khalid Walid is actually one of our best players. He's really highly rated. He wants out of the club. I promised him a move away. We're trying to sell him. I've tried at the minute to get 40,000 for him. I don't think I'm going to get that. I'm happy to take 20 or 25,000. So we're going to look for a brand new goalkeeper. The transfer window closes in about a month's time. It's 24th of October. Until then, we do have a few fixtures, 3 games actually we can get our teeth into, and I want this goalkeeper. So we're on the search for a keeper right now. I'm not sure who we're going to bring in. Anyway, more to this tactic. It's almost come out by necessity. It's kind of a bit of invention from me as well, because I wanted it. So we're going passing to space. We're going attacking. This is the tactic I'm going to use against teams that I'm favoured against, and I'll come to that in a minute. But attacking, we're going to pass into space. I want a fairly direct approach. I want us to sort of look out wide here. I want us to look long, a higher tempo, shoot on sight, because I just want us to pepper teams. I really want us to be almost like a scattergun shooting thing. I don't use shoot on sight in my other saves too often. I just feel like this is the right time for it. I've gone with roll out to centre backs though, because I don't want to lose the ball from the goalkeeper. I think the centre backs are in better position to sort of pass it forward rather than the keeper for now. And we do want the keeper distributing quickly and countering. We're not counter pressing, and we are not going with high pressing. In fact, we're going less urgent pressing, and we're going to go that's actually wrong, a lower defensive line and a lower line of engagement, and we're staying on feet. And the reason is because this disciplinary rules in here are not as bad as Qatar. Three yellow cards and you get in suspension. Even that, I could see it racking up, to be honest. So it's not something I want. And also, we don't have the work rate, we don't have the stamina, and we don't have across the whole team, apart from this midfield. They're the only three really. The rest of the team is quite lazy. I think they don't want to be counter pressing, so that's why we're not doing that for a number of reasons. So it's quite an interesting sort of attacking system we've got going there. Now, the WE League here, we are not one of the favourites. In fact, we are season preview. We're fourth favourites to go down. But it seems to me what there is in this league, there's a bunch of really good teams like these top three: Al Ahly, Pyramid, Zamalek. Possibly all of these who are 33 to 1. Al Masri, they've got wage budget 31k for Al Masri. This team here, Vadi Degla, 48k wage budget. Ismaili, the same, nearly 40k wage budget. Zamalek, well up there, 58k. They're currently spending, and then Pyramids and Al Ahly are even more. I'm no doubt, 100 and up to 229k for Pyramids. Al Ahly nearly 123k. So these sides they've got a lot of very good players. NP here, 25k wage budget, and then we move into sort of like the Petrojets and the Al Gunas, who might be more on our level, I think. So I think it's going to be a case of, against these sort of teams, we're going to attack, probably home and away, certainly at home. But against someone like Al Ahly, Pyramid, Zamalek, it would be stupid. If we did this against them, we're going to get roasted. So I want to try something different against them. And let me just save that tactic, because we don't want the really low line. Anyway, so we're going with this system against someone who is significantly better than us, in my opinion. And I'm going with cautious mentality. Basically, 5 at the back. So them 3. All that changes here is the 2 players who are out wide, the winger and the inside forward, go into fullback slots. The rest of the team, in terms of position, stays the same. The roles are slightly different. Mazzala moved to support. The Amid moves to support as well. But basically, we move from them players there to fullbacks. Cautious mentality, which might borderline balance sometimes. We're still shooting on sight, because when we get forward, I want us to have a go. I don't want us to be just passing it or trying to pass it in those sort of spots, because it's not going to work against these good sides. We're not going to have the ball for too long. We're going to accept that standard passing directness. We're aiming to have about 40% possession in these sort of games. Tempo still slightly high, because I want us to move the ball forward relatively quickly. Again, countering, and with this time we are regrouping, and the same instructions here, apart from we've got even much less urgent. When we haven't got the ball, I'm very happy for us to sit in and bunker in and just try and soak up possession. And the idea is to sort of get up there quickly on the counter attack, get a shot in, try something from distance. You never know, it might work, and things like that. So those are the 2 tactics that I'm working towards for this season. We've got some matches. We actually start off against Al Makkasa, who are one of the newly promoted teams. So it'll be interesting to see how we go on then. Then we've got a big dog in Zamalek away. So we're going to use the attacking tactic here, and then against Zamalek we're going to use the defensive approach. I'm not going to do any of these games on the next video. I'm going to play these myself. And against Tesana, who I do believe are can't remember where they were. Tesana, they're down there. So I think what we'll probably do is we'll do Tesana at home as a video, and then we're going to look at sort of Al Masri or Al Gaish on away, where we might use the other tactic. So I'm going to have a go at these myself, and then we'll come on to the video, see how they get on. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to go into against Al Masri like this. We've got a lot of new players in the squad. Surprised the team cohesion's still average, actually. Managerial support is quite good. That was the advantage of taking this job against, if we'd gone sort of a bigger club, then they would have been looking at maybe the opposing me. But I think I've got the support in the dressing room at least, which is really, really important for me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this season at the club. It's going to be really interesting, isn't it? How we get on in the WE League, here with Masr El Makkasa. I really fancy staying at this club for like 2 seasons. The finances intrigue me. I I don't know why this wage budget was given to me. I decided to upgrade in the staff as well. There'll be a reason why it's been given. We can't attract that many great players. I mean, a lot of these guys that we're bringing in, there's a reason why we're still, fourth favourites for relegation. But I think there could well be a takeover at some point. Rumour a takeover from potential investor. So yeah, watch this space. Either that or maybe the club will do some investments. I think it's going to be very, very intriguing how we get on here in Egypt. As I fancy a couple of seasons at the job, this club, and if we're going to move anywhere, then I would only really be looking to move within the Egyptian pyramid to one of these bigger clubs if we did really well and caught the eye. But I don't think we'll be able to catch the eye. Hopefully we can just have a good solid season. We're predicted fourth bottom. I hope we can sort of prove our weight around mid-table, work out the tactics, see what we need to work on for next season, and who knows, after a 2-year period maybe we can sort of have a run at even challenging for sort of these positions here, in the top 4, or even a cup run. There's an Egyptian Cup as well. I'm thinking for the rules, you've got to be in top 2 to make African continental competitions. But yeah, anyway, that's it going to be for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Hit that like button if you loved it, dislike whatever, comments are much appreciated, good or bad. I love the feedback. Remember to follow me on the socials up here, and yeah, subscribe to the channel on YouTube and also Twitch. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, appreciate it. See you next time, take care.